Good day, Raskin enjoyers. I hope you're doing alright, because it's time for the predictions video. Yes, just a few hours ago, all of these skins rotated into Rustor, and basically in this video, we're going to go ahead and try and figure out which of these skins potentially might be the best investment for this week, which of these skins might help us walk away with some sweet, delicious looking profit. So sit back, relax. I'm going to start yapping. Right, so before we even consider talking about these skins, I have to address this. We've basically wrapped up with the likes of August. It has dropped down a bit compared to July. It's unfortunate, but it's kind of expected. It still did very good, especially compared to last year's August. But anyway, we're now entering September. September, October, November, the autumn-fall seasonal dip. It's actually happening. Kids are going to go back to school. That, of course, means less people playing the game, and that, of course, means lower skin prices. So now that you acknowledge that, please don't be surprised if you end up seeing all of these skins go down in price. It's unfortunate, but it's expected. Alternatively, do not be surprised if you notice these skins aren't selling that much. So potentially in the future, because they only sold so much, when times are better, all the better for it to rise up in price, because more people will be playing again, and of course more demand for the skins. We'll see how it all plays out. Now, first of all, I'd always sit here and say, when it comes to the likes of abnormal skins, it's usually best to wait it out, wait till Wednesday, then consider doing the abnormal barders, then look at the barter support afterwards, and then of course consider buying them afterwards. If you don't fully understand what abnormals are, please consider watching my most recent abnormal barders video located right over here. With last week, every single skin was abnormal. So we did a very good, thorough, look into what potentially might be holding up value, what might do a good job of actually going up in the positive in the future. So much so that it was very reliable to look at the likes of the Redemption Python and actually jump in and buy into it. And right now, that is doing ever so nicely with barders pushing up to $3 and the cheapest listings about $4. So if you want to get a better understanding of how all that works, please consider watching my most recent abnormal barders video. Cool. So we've got that nice and established. Now we're going to look at the skins. Now we're going to try and figure out which of these skins potentially might be the best investment for this week. And I'm going to talk about Heavy Knight first, all right? I'm talking about this in terms of the momentum it has, and, well, it's been doing very well in terms of getting consecutive acceptances. So if you can recall, it started off with the jacket, then of course the hoodie and pants, and now the tier 3 armour. And I am noticing that face mask is getting quite a lot of love. Right, so the very first thing that we need to be considering is, will this sell as much as this? Or potentially more, or potentially less? When it comes to core pieces, I'm referring to hoodie and pants, tier 2 and tier 3 armour. When we get a full set, it's the skins that usually sell the least amount that tend to become the more expensive. So as long as the collection remains fairly in demand. Now, with the momentum of the consecutive acceptances, things are working out ever so nicely. There are boots and gloves that were submitted just this past weekend. And of course, with the next weekend, this upcoming weekend, who knows? Will we see tier 2 armour? Will we see something different? Regardless, if we see these boots and gloves, you'll also see pretty much the exact same momentum, and these two skins very likely will work out ever so nicely immediately. Now, if you want to kind of look at this in the long term, if you're thinking, will everything work out all right in the future? Well, we do get quite a lot of metallic sets. So far this year, we've had 3, and you can look at when it goes bad. So here's the Cyber collection. Here's a nice little comparison. As you can see, whilst we did get a full collection, it's not exactly holding up super great. But then we also have the likes of Damascus. Now this is holding up quite alright. This is doing good. This did have a nice summer. So it is a bit 50-50. Nothing is super reliable with this week's Rustor. But this has got quite a lot of momentum behind it. Things are looking pretty interesting. I do favour that a little bit more compared to Commando. Now by default, if we see tier 2 armour, if we see boots and gloves being produced and accepted, yes, I would expect this to spike in demand, spike in price. Much like how, with this appearing today, the hoodie and pants for the likes of Heavy Knight did get bought out, and they're currently sitting on the Steam market at $4 a piece. They doubled in price, essentially. Very nice to see, but fully expected with the arrival of these. Cool. So it's not 100% super confident, but it is a situation where it's like, by default, I have to sit there and say it's looking pretty good. So next up, I will now talk about the likes of Commando hoodie and pants. Same thing. We have to compare this with the likes of the hoodie, the tier 3 here. Now, this rose up ever so nicely with the appearance of this today. This was sitting at around barely $2. These two skins appear, doubles in price. Very nice to see. Right, it's another alternative blackout set. Looking at these skins, by default you'd assume surely we'll get tier 2. Well, tier 2 was actually submitted like a month ago. Hasn't been accepted yet. Awkward. But listen, this skin creator here also made Legacy Kevlar. He'll make a version 2 of this. He'll make boots and gloves. We'll probably see a jacket and whatnot. I am fully well in the belief that we will see more of this collection being produced and potentially accepted. But we do have to take another thing into consideration. Black Diamond. Yeah. Technically speaking, I can still see this getting more continuations as well. I wouldn't be surprised if it's potentially next week. Keep an eye on the workshop. Anyway, back over to here. If we just focus this right now, if these match up to the sales that Commando Tier 3 had, which was around 17,000 subscribers, that'll be fine, you know. By default, that's good. But please be aware of this. We've got the likes of Legacy Kevlar, we've got the likes of Dragon Rage, we've got the likes of Training Collection, we've got the likes of so many other alternative Blackout collections, Pirate, Black Gold, you name it, alright? If people want to make a budget Blackout option, they have a lot to look at, right? So you see these two here? Ooh, 74 cents, 89 cents. Don't just assume just because it's cheaper compared to the Blackout collection, it's going to be an instant success. Now, I don't expect us to have any potential problems like Legacy Kevlar in regards to where it became a problem, where they sold far too much. They became oversaturated. Blackout hoodie is $15. Blackout pants is $23. That is quite expensive. Now, I've done some lovely close-ups with the likes of these skins. Please consider watching my Rust rotation video if you want to see how they look in game with the Tier 3 armor. But by default, I want to wait it out. These skins here, and of course the Heavy Knight Tier 3, they are abnormal. They will become marketable before the Rust rotates next week, and therefore I want to do my abnormal barders first, then I'll look at the support afterwards, then I'll make considerations. If they do around 17,000 subscribers, I will feel confident. If it sells a little bit more, it will get a bit questionable, especially as we steer towards the likes of September and October. Now, October time specifically is the period of time where we tend to see most Rust skins reach a new low point. Great time to jump in and buy into skins, wonderful. But for newer skins, they're going to have a terrible start, aren't they, in theory. But if we do see those continuations, yes, spike in demand, spike in price. I'd love to see it, but will it happen? We've got to keep an eye on the workshop, and we've got to keep an eye on what potentially will be coming out. So, yep, just keep an eye on this over the course of this weekend, and we'll see what gets produced. And, we'll feel more confident then, surely. So, next Wednesday, I will be streaming on my Twitch, and we'll be discussing prices to offer for these skins, and how we're going to approach them and whatnot. Cool. Right then, so, by default, it looks interesting, but there are no guarantees everything will work out nicely. With the 1 month wait for the Tier 3 armor to get a continuation, it halved in price. What could happen to the hoodie and pants here, even though they're sitting here at $2 to start with? We shall see. Right then, so we've talked about clothing and armor to start off with. What about all these other skins? Well, we do have these other clothing pieces here, but I'm not that confident. I think with all the skins here, by default, I'm going to have to talk about the likes of the bow. Now, I'm not 100% sure if everybody is aware that this was actually in the Rust store this week. It should have been, but there was a bit of a problem. Apparently, it's to do with the name. Well, anyway, with what we have here, basically, it's currently the lowest selling skin at the moment. I get the feeling not everybody noticed that this took like an extra 3 hours to finally get into the Rust store. If it doesn't sell that much, this actually looks like it's going to work out very nicely. Now, let me just remind you that this, of course, is part of the Abyss collection. Now, with the likes of the Abyss collection, we've had 3 weapons in total now. We've had the likes of the SAR, and of course, we've had the likes of the AK-47. I kind of expect the behaviour that we saw the likes of the AK-47 will happen to the SAR, which we've already, dealt with, and now this bow skin here. So let's just quickly go through the details, explain what I expect, and then you'll probably get a good understanding for how this will probably roll out. So the Abyss AK-47 came out last year, sold reasonably at $3, but what happened is, when we approached the bear times, when we went through the likes of November, wasn't exactly holding out very well, went down in price very quickly, not very good. This is from November to December. But then, post-Christmas, January 2024, it actually rose up quite nicely. Why? More people were playing. People had Christmas break off, more time to play the game. You get the idea. Then, of course, it dips down during the likes of Easter. Again, people go back to school. But then the summer, this rose up ever so nicely and reached a high point of about $4.50. So, right now, this is one of the only AK-47s out of like 4. Out of, in the past 2 years, we've maybe had about 100 AK-47 skins added to the game. Only about 4 of them are in the positive. That is one of them. That is special. And that is why I thought with the likes of the SAR skin, the exact same behaviour would happen. It'll dip down initially, which it did, and then it will comfortably rise up a fair bit. And when times are good, when more people are playing, it'll go up ever so nicely into the positive. That is technically happening so far with the SAR. Will the exact same thing happen to the Abyss hunting bow? Now this is also abnormal. This right here is the standard $2 price. Maybe it drops down to about $1.50 for a while. Maybe it eventually goes all the way up to $3, $4, who knows? But if it doesn't sell that much, I've got my eye on it, alright? Now, hunting bow skins by default don't exactly hold up very well. Take a quick look at this. Ooh, down 30, down 37, down 42, down 40. Yeah. Now, we do have the likes of the Legacy bow doing alright, but that was a special skin produced by Facepunch themselves with a completely different mesh. So that stands out a lot more compared to all the other skins. But this right here, with its very sinister looking gaze, the purple eyes and whatnot, maybe it does fare better, alright? So we'll see how this rolls out. I'm interested, but I can understand that it's very likely still going to dip down in price initially regardless. I care more about the future. I expect it to work out ever so nicely. Right then. So now looking at all these other skins, what do I feel? I think I will now talk about the likes of Rainbow Pony. Okay, the Boonie hat, the Poncho, that's not abnormal, but this is. Very bright and colourful, but let me just kind of show you this. Look at all the Poncho skins we have in the game. Does anything compare to this in terms of being nice and colourful? Not really. Not really. You got the bright and green one there, but and then well, that's the glow in the dark one. Point is, no, it doesn't look like that. Now, Rainbow Pony, whether you love it or hate it, it's one of the biggest collections in the game with 28 skins now. Very bright, very colourful. I'm not sure if everybody likes it, but you know what? You can wear it just to annoy them. So, could this work out ever so nicely? It's debatable. Ponchos, if you just saw a minute ago, not all of them are holding up super great, are they? And then look at last year, some of them are. And then look at all the Boonie hats. What do you see? Well, it's kind of almost the same thing. Still quite a lot of them doing good. So I'll sit here and say this. We did have the likes of a bandana being accepted in the past. That is sitting here 40% up. Sitting here at about $1.40, alright? Sold for 99 cents, sitting there at $1.40. Does that sound like good profit to you? Regardless, it's still profit. We very likely might get some burlap clothing produced next. Maybe some hide clothing, who knows? Maybe some burlap shoes, maybe some leather gloves again. Who knows? If we do get those continuations, alright, I could expect this to spike in price a fair bit. If we don't, give it some time. I don't think it's going to be selling that much, considering, you know, where its current position is at the moment. I think it actually will work out quite alright. It might be more of a long-term thing. Will it still dip down in price? I kind of wouldn't be surprised by that. Keep an eye on the workshop over the course of this weekend. Let's see what the skin creator produces. Let's see if we get those instant continuations potentially. Alright, cool. So I can see potential, but I can still see it dropping off a fair bit. We shall see. At least the Poncho is abnormal, so we can look and see how that behaves, and then we can roll over with the likes of the Boonie hat afterwards. Cool. Right, okay, what else is looking to be somewhat interesting? I'm now going to talk about the likes of the Neon Oil Rig Garage Door. Now, number one, please be aware of this. There's a lot of garage doors. There is a lot more garage doors potentially on the way. There's going to be garage doors being accepted in future Rust doors. There's going to be Twitch drop garage doors. Yeah, it's kind of expected. Now, yeah, when you look at all the garage doors that were marketable this year, not that many are doing very good at the moment. No, because there's just too many of them. And then Twitch drops come out, and they look really cool, and then people would rather use them. So the attention on these drops off, and then, yeah, they suffer. Awkward, yep. Even when we get collection continuations, they drop off. It's quite sad to see. It's unfortunate, but that's what happens when you get like 30 garage doors every single year. Okay, cool. So we've established there very likely could be problems with this. However, this has got some momentum at the moment. The Neon Monuments collection seems to be working out ever so nicely, but so many deplorable collections got started off this year and stopped after 2 or 3 acceptances. This Neon Monument set appears to be currently, you know, in the position of with its third acceptance. So let me just go over to here real quickly and show off to you that what you can see here is a sheet metal door, a sheet metal double door, and of course a garage door. What's next? Large box, a rug, a water purifier, a locker, a chair, a table. Who knows? We've got to keep an eye on the workshop. We could see this rise up in price ever so nicely if we get a very quick continuation. But if that don't happen, that's going down in price for sure. Now, maybe it rebounds and goes up in price in the future. That could happen. How low can it go? I can't really answer that right now. It's the top selling skin so far. Maybe it sells ever so nicely, and it has too many listings on the Steam market, and it becomes a bit of a problem on the Steam market. We'll see. We'll see. All right. This is why I gave a big warning about what to expect over the course of the next 3 months. I will not be surprised if that drops off in price, but we could still do a smart buy order and still potentially walk away with some decent profit. Sounds good? So keep an eye out for potential continuations. I don't think anyone's asked the skin creator yet, hey, you going to make any more? But I'm confident he will. Why would he turn down the opportunity to make more money? Right then. Okay, looking at the remaining skins, I would like to talk about the doors, but unfortunately, I think I'll pair them together. I know one stands out so much better compared to the other, but I still expect them to behave the exact same way. I think I'll talk about the Rat-a-tat-tat Thompson first. So, this is a cool, goofy looking skin. We just had Cakes' Twitch drop recently of the likes of the Ochre. Now we've got a Thompson. Are you a rat, perchance? Do you like to do devilish things? So, cool idea, creative. Will this turn into a collection? We're going to get like a bunch of animals and skins for weapons and whatnot. We'll see. Anyway, cool idea. The pink nose for the aim sight, beautiful. Let's see what this builds up into. But Thompson skins this year, we've had quite a lot. We've definitely had quite a lot compared to previous years. Take a look at all the Thompsons that came out this year. Only one's doing all right. The rest, oh dear. Twitch drops. Last year we had 17. Yeah, and you can see the vast majority of those didn't hold up super great, unfortunately. Now, looking at the state of this, how much will you sell? If you do like 15,000 subscribers, I would by default assume you're going to go down in price. Maybe you don't sell too much. Maybe this Rust store has too much interest in the likes of all these other skins and this doesn't get that much attention. We shall see. But that's not abnormal, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to try our best to figure out how we're going to approach it on Wednesday night. But it very likely will just be a situation where I stick with a buy order. I'll give you this. Thompsons don't usually drop off that badly. It's quite rare to see these go below $1. And the cheapest one right now is sitting here at $1.08. So smart buy order can still lead to some decent success and decent profits. We'll see how it turns out. I don't imagine that'll be going all the way down to less than $1 or close to $1. I think it will drop off, but we'll see how badly it could happen once we see this, the sales on Wednesday night. So we'll leave it there. Looking at these other remaining skins, I think I will talk about the No, I'm going to talk about the Cel bolt action rifle. That's what I'm going to do. Right, so this might not sell that much. That's definitely a potential thing. Now, it's sitting here at $3. Oh, that's a bit pricey, isn't it? But how many more bolt action rifles are we potentially going to see this year? 4 so far? Not bad. I mean, there was quite a drought in the likes of 2022, where we had 2 years of no bolt action rifle. And last year we had the likes of Redemption bolt action rifle, Chameleon bolt action rifle. That did 25,000 sales. Kind of struggling at the moment. This only did 11,500 sales. Doing pretty good at the moment. But these were in-demand collections. Earlier this year, we had the Juggernaut bolt action rifle. Now, all the Juggernaut weapons, they're not holding up very well. They don't have a lot of demand. And as you can see here, down 41%. Ooh. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, that only did 7,100 subscribers. You can look at this and sit there and say, it didn't sell that much. Surely it'll work out all right in the future. Well, the collection, unfortunately, isn't that in demand. Yeah. Remember the AK? That sold at $3.49 in Rust store? Well, it's selling for 99 cents now. And that only did 11,000 subscribers. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't have that much faith in this. But rarely do you see bolt action rifles drop down in price too badly. So if we look at them based on price, the cheapest one happens to be, now it's Dreamcatcher. However, I'll sit here and say, this was easily found in loot boxes years ago. There's lots of them. Let's just put that aside and look at Juggernaut Bar. There he is. Okay. That is the lowest of the low, I'd say. Not to say that in like a bad way, but it's not exactly performing super great in terms of price. Now, there's not that many listings as well. Only 29. So, yeah, that's definitely a demand issue. Perhaps it's not going to work out as well as you might think it would. So yeah, we'll leave it for Wednesday. It is abnormal. We'll consider how we approach it. We'll look at the sales. You get the idea. It's going to be a barter. It's going to be a barter for sure. And now we can talk about the doors. So I was hesitant to immediately jump onto this and talk about it, but basically we've been in a very, very, very similar situation, and it wasn't that long ago. Do you remember this Rustor? We had 2 sheet metal doors in the same week? No, that's the wrong one. Whoopsie. What was the right one then? Was it the very end of July? No, was it July 18? I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember. There we go. Yes, Ice Eye door and the Frog door. That didn't sell too much. That sold fairly all right. Down 54% and down 44%. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, so they both look like very cool looking doors. I mean, well, that one's goofy. That one does look cool. Also, winter theme. Funny that. But anyway, back over to here with the Rust door that we have. Basically, I'm looking at the frozen Crypt door. I'm looking at the cardboard sheet metal door. And I'm thinking they're both probably going to go down to about $1. Now, that might do a fair bit better. True, I wouldn't doubt it. That's a very cool looking sheet metal door. Looks very cool. I expect to see some continuations. Keep up the good work, Mr. Horomiao Mugiwara. As we delve into the likes of the horrible cold months that are winter, that would be a lovely little skin to, put in your base. But look at every single sheet metal door that came out this year, and what do you see? Not a single one doing very well. Now, that's still a bit delayed. If you look at it now, it has gone down in price. But every other sheet metal door, yeah, not good, not good, not good, not good, not good. We have far too many sheet metal doors that exist. Far too many sheet metal doors to compare to. All right? That's going down in price, I'm sorry to say, especially as we're about to delve into the horrible months that are September, October, November. It's inevitability. So if you're looking at that and thinking, oh, $3, well, you could just pick it up for maybe half the price in about 2 weeks' time. I wouldn't be surprised. Sorry to say. But if we do get those continuations, we'll see, we'll see. So, Frozen Crypt collection, that might sound pretty interesting. Same thing in regards to likes of the cardboard, but it's goofy. It's silly. I will respect the idea, but I just can't help but assume it's going to go down to about $1. I'm sorry. That doesn't glow in the dark. The other one does. So I expect that to do a fair bit better. But in terms of behaviour, I expect both of them to drop off. Very sad to say, and I'm very sorry, but yeah, I'm going to give you the honest answer. Now we can talk about the likes of the Tier 3 Toolbox. I don't have a lot of faith in it. I don't have a lot of faith in small box skins. Take a look at this, and what do you see? Yeah. We've had 2 proper collections so far this year. Neon small boxes, base boxes. They are not doing very well. They are collections, and they're not doing very well. Do you honestly expect a random independent small box like this to hold up all right? Now, of course, it's obviously got a theme. Supposed to look like the workbench. Cute, silly, ha 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 ha. Is that going to help it hold up forever? I don't think so. I'm being brutally honest with you. I don't think it's going to be all right. Now, it is abnormal. That's cool. We can look at this on Wednesday night and whatnot. But, yeah, I don't think it'll be holding up. I'd fully expect it to drop off. But by all means, guys, look at all these skins. And I'll sit here and say, look, if you like it, by all means, buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creators, keep them nice and motivated to keep wanting to put out nice creative designs in the future. Sounds good? If you like a skin, buy it. Treat yourself. Not every single thing has to be an investment. But if you want to buy hundreds of these skins, yeah, maybe a barter is going to be a little bit smarter, a little bit better. Right then. So that's a wrap with the likes of all the skins. Now let's keep you up to date in regards to what's potentially coming out very soon. Right, so we are well aware that we're going to have a Twitch event in September. And that very likely will be having Twitch drops as well. Rust Base Invaders, September 10 to September 11. All the teams are here. You can flick through all of them. You can go and read out, who's getting involved, who's taking part. Cool, you get the idea. That'll be taking place over the course of 2 days. So keep an eye out for the likes of that. Now, of course, I should also bring up that there's going to be September next week. September update is what wants to push towards you. Basically, we might potentially see the likes of Red Tail Redux actually being added, wallpapers, other various bits and bobs. Keep an eye on the commits. Lots of very interesting things are being mentioned, and you can even see the likes of high wall skins. Yes, this apparently is going to be part of the Frontier set, Frontier Gate and wall meshes. Is it wood? Is it stone? We don't know. We'll find out. But that seems to be the Frontier DLC pack that's being worked on. Hazmat, tools, a revolver, and apparently high wall skins. So we'll see what that amounts to. That looks like it's going to be October though, right? So yes, I've already mentioned the likes of Twitch Rivals, but that seems to be having like some sort of special goofy mini games. Hexagon. Keep an eye out for the likes of that then. And of course, keep an eye out for potential Twitch drops. They will very likely be revealed next week with the September blog post, alright? So keep an eye out for the likes of that. I will be streaming. You can watch me as I go through all the details. I'm sure you get the idea. Cool. So lots of interesting things potentially on the horizon. Cool. And I will sit here and say this. If you want to get a good idea for potential skins that might be accepted in future Rust stores, please consider watching my most recent Rust Workshop skin checks. All the collection continuations are chaptered, so if you want to just skip ahead to something that interests you, it's all there. The option is available. And lastly, I'll bring up, did you notice that we had 2 very random extra late picks today? That being this bow skin over here, that was submitted 6 months ago. This right here, submitted 3 months ago. What's that? What are you talking about? Well, basically, I am under the assumption that we're going to have complete the sets for 2024 very, very soon. Look in the description of this video right now. You'll see the link to this collection. These are potential candidates, or rather representatives of their collections. So if you were to look at the likes of this Glacial Visage Locker, look at the actual page, scroll down, you'll see a collection link there. Click that, you'll see other Glacial Visage skins that weren't accepted in the past. So you got a good idea of what could potentially be accepted. So yeah, complete the sets, most wanted. We'll see what's going to be accepted. Who knows? You can wish, you can pray, or you can hope so much. But this is reality, and I'm very sorry to say, as much as you want those camouflage collections being accepted, oh, you just wait. So yeah, we'll find out. We'll see what happens. But I expect that to start off on the 2nd week of September, much like previous years. So it would be complete the sets week 1, and then most probably most wanted for week 2. Most wanted probably being all the skins that had lots of upvotes but weren't accepted previously in the past. So we'll see what that amounts to. We'll see what happens. I hope the video is straightforward enough for you. 26 minutes, but I said a lot, and I'm pretty sure you might have taken all that in, hopefully. There was also a lot of skins. Go have a lovely week. Enjoy yourselves. Let's look forward to see what potentially gets accepted for the September Force Weight Rust store next week. And let's see what gets added to the game. Lots of interesting things on the horizon. But I'm done. Thank you very much. Best of luck to you and your investments. Cool. Catch you later. See you and goodbye.